Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. What you're looking at is the Benchmade Mini Griptilian, one of my all-time favorite everyday carry knives. I have a review out on it. It's a very popular knife. It's just a great design. It's super smooth. It's got the axis lock. It's lightweight. It's relatively slim. Just really, built to really high quality standards. It's going to last forever. And I like it so much that I started looking at some of the other Benchmade offerings that are out there. They're kind of similar. So for the past few months, I've been carrying the Mini-Presidio. Pretty similar design, kind of a beefed up version of the Mini Griptilian. And I gotta say, I really like it. It's just different, and I've carried this one so much, it's kind of nice to have a change, to be honest. But there are some nice features about this that the Mini Griptilian doesn't have. And if you look at the Presidio family in general, there's actually a lot of things offered. They've got some automatic versions. This is just the manual version. They've got a Tonto version. Obviously, all the full-size knives. This one is the Mini-Presidio, and so that you can really get just about whatever you want in the Presidio family. So, just why would you want to buy this knife? What's special about it? Well, I think it's a great little everyday carry knife. It slices really well. It's got a hollow grind on there. And so far, just cutting performance-wise, it's done really well. Also, just the overall tactical, kind of look and feel of the knife makes it a really nice defensive blade if you're kind of restricted on what you can carry. And what I mean by that is that the blade on here is actually under 3 inches. It's 2.97 inches. And there's a lot of locales in the U.S. where you can't carry a blade over 3 inches. So if you're looking for a good everyday carry / emergency defensive blade, and you're restricted under 3 inches, or you just prefer to carry a knife that's around this size, it could be a really nice option. So let's just start by looking at this blade. As you can tell, it's just a basic drop point style, very traditional, and just very functional. It works out really well. You've got a good amount of belly in there, a nice, just a big section of just straight blade here. And overall, I'm a big fan of the drop point. Sometimes the simple is best. And it is hollow ground, and it slices really well. And to be honest, comparing the Mini Griptilian versus this Mini Presidio, I would say that the Presidio actually performs a little bit better just in pure cutting performance. Now, if you remember, this one is a saber grind, which is essentially a flat grind from this midsection. And if I had to choose, I definitely prefer the hollow grind over the saber grind. It just performs better. Now, if we look at the blade a little bit more, it is made out of 440C, and there's nothing really wrong with 440C. It's been used in knives for a long time, and Benchmade puts a really excellent heat treat on this steel. So overall, the performance-wise, I've been happy with it. But if we look at the price range that this Presidio comes in at, you're looking anywhere from probably $75 to $100 for this knife. And in that price range, you really should get a better steel than 440C. If you look at this Mini Griptilian, which is a very similar knife as far as price goes, it's made out of 154 cm, which is a better steel. It's basically an upgrade to 440C. If you look at Spyderco, like the Delica, you're getting VG10. The Manix 2, you're getting 154 cm. So lots of the knives in this price range are giving you a better steel. That being said, though, I haven't had any major complaints with 440C. Hasn't rusted on me. Hasn't, it's held the edge just fine. It's been easy to sharpen. So I've been happy with it, but I feel like you should probably get something a little bit better for the price range. Now, as we look at the opening mechanism on here, it is a Benchmade thumb stud, and it's just their standard thumb stud, and that's a really good thing. Benchmade has a great design for their thumb studs. As you can tell, it's very easy to open. It's ambidextrous. They've kind of terraced it a little bit there to give you a good grip on it, and it works really well. I'm very happy with it, and no complaints whatsoever. As you can tell, the knife opens up very quickly, very easily, just with the flick of a thumb. And I have opened this with gloves on, and it's very easy to do. So overall, I really am happy with the thumb studs. Now, as we look at the lock on here, it's the good old axis lock. I love the axis lock. It's probably my all-time favorite locking mechanism on a knife. So as you can tell, you just pull back, You can actuate that from either side of the knife, so you can just do it with one finger. You can do it with your thumb, however you prefer to do it. Totally ambidextrous, very easy to do. It's a solid lockup. As you can tell, your blade comes and that bar just sits right on top of there and locks it up. Very solid lockup. Now, to be honest, I do have a little bit of side-to-side play right now. That's just because I need to tighten this screw. And you can actually tighten these screws. I need to put a little blue Loctite on there. It keeps loosening up on me. But you can adjust your pivot point on there, so no major issues there. Now, not only can you adjust your pivot point, but you can actually, totally disassemble the knife if you want to. It's completely mini Torx bit construction, so if you drop it in salt water, mud, whatever, you want to take it apart, you can. Now, I can tell you from experience of taking apart axis lock knives, it's doable, but it's not a cakewalk. And you compare it to something like a frame lock or a liner lock, something that's much simpler, less parts in there. It is a little bit of a challenge to service if you're going to totally disassemble it. Doable though. Now, as we look at just the overall ergonomics on this handle, it is just a little bit chunkier and fatter than the Mini Griptilian. And I don't know if I can show you that. The Mini Griptilian is rounded really well. This one, they did do some rounding on here, but it's still just a tad bit blocky. And, so I'll see if I can show you that a little bit more effectively. You can tell the Mini Griptilian is definitely a little bit slimmer. Now, as far as just ease of carry, this one definitely feels a little bit better in the pocket. But as far as getting a good grip in the hand, for example, if you did actually, heaven forbid, actually have to use this as a defensive knife, this one's going to give you a better grip. You can tell they flared it both on the top and the bottom here. That's going to give you better traction and prevent you from slipping up onto the blade a lot better. Also, they just put a better texturing on the handles here. Now, this is just a polymer handle, and very similar to what this Mini Griptilian has. They have a special name for it. It's essentially just like an FRN or a Zytel. I think it's going to wear well. They put a really good aggressive texturing on there. It gives you a good grip without tearing up your hands. Some of the really aggressive G10s out there do a great job of giving you grip, but they're going to shred your hands, shred your pockets. So this is a happy medium, gives you a good amount of texturing without being too much. So you have that flare there. Also, the handle is just a little bit longer on the Presidio. So if you got big hands, you're going to definitely like the Presidio better. As you can tell, you get a little bit extra length when you go with the Presidio. So I'd say in hand, this one maybe gives you a little bit better, just feel. This one probably gives you a little bit better feel in the pocket. So, it's a trade-off. Now, as we look on the inside of here, talking about strength a little bit more, there are stainless steel liners in there. And I did forget to mention, they did put a little bit of jimping in these choils and these flares. It's pretty worthless. As you can tell, the scale kind of eclipses it, so that you don't even really get the full value of it. And it's not all that sharp to begin with, so it's not even really worth mentioning. So as we look at the scales in there, they did actually skeletonize them. So that helps keep the weight down on this thing. Now, it is a little bit heavier than the Mini Griptilian. This comes in at 3.1 ounces, but they did a good job at trying to keep the weight down. And in carry, I haven't really noticed it. It's not the lightest knife ever, but it's definitely very doable. It's very easy to carry. This one, by the way, is probably around 2.6, 2.7. So there's about a half an ounce of difference in between these. For most people, I don't think they'll really care. So you do have your stainless steel liners in there, very strong. Let's take a look at the pocket clip on here. So you can tell it's the standard Benchmade pocket clip, which I'm a fan of. It's strong. It goes over most material very easily, even if you have a really thick seam in your pocket. If you're wearing BDUs or whatever else, this clip will go over that very easily. And I've never lost a Benchmade knife because of the clip or anything like that. They're very strong. You have 3 screws on there, and some companies are going to 2. 3 screws. It's going to stay on there very, very tightly. And so overall, I just like the pocket clip. Now it comes tip up, right-handed carry. You can flip it to left-handed tip up carry, but it is going to be tip up only. For me, that's great. That's what I prefer. Now also you can tell this isn't like a loop over style pocket clip or anything, but they did do a good job at mounting it as high up on the handle as they possibly could. And that's something I really wish more people would do with their designs. Even the Mini-Grip Tillion isn't really that way. You can tell they could have probably, maybe pushed that up just a little bit more. So this will ride a little bit lower in your pocket, and I like that. Now you also will notice you have a lanyard hole on there, pretty much the same size as the Mini-Grip Tillion's lanyard hole. And this is just a piece of hollowed out 550 paracord that fit through there just fine. Anything bigger than that you might have trouble fitting through the lanyard hole, but very easy to put a lanyard on there, no issues whatsoever. So I think that's pretty much all the high points of the knife. And so as we talk about pricing on here, it's going to be it's going to vary a little bit. I got this one on a really good sale at Blade HQ, and I got it for $75, and that's with the black blade. Now the black blade will cost you a little bit more, but to me I prefer it. It's a good durable finish. It protects the blade more. I've done a lot of cutting with this, and I really prefer that blackened blade. Also, just for the overall look of this knife, I think it just looks a lot better. But so pricing wise, you're probably realistically gonna look probably somewhere between $80 and $100 for this knife, and that's not cheap. That's not cheap at all. It's a very nice knife, and if you're just looking for something just to carry, just to do utility tasks, you don't have to spend that much. I mean, there's definitely cheaper options out there. What I would compare this to is it's like driving a nice car. It's like owning a SIG or an HK. It's just a premium product built to really high quality standards. And honestly, it just makes me smile carrying this knife. It's just a cool knife. I just really like it. I connect with it. If you're looking for something a little bit more affordable, if you don't have a Mini-Grip Tillion already, I recommend you go buy a Mini-Grip Tillion. It's probably going to be maybe $10 cheaper, $20 cheaper than this Presidio. Great design. It's going to be, if you don't own any Benchmades yet, the first one you should buy is a Mini-Grip Tillion. It's a really good representation of the brand, the overall quality, the feel. Mini-Grip Tillion is a great competitor. Really, it just depends if you want a little bit larger. A little bit larger knife, a little bit, more in the hand, or if you'd want something just a little bit slimmer for carry. So Mini-Grip Tillion is a good competitive option. Spyderco Delica. Delica is a great option. These are going to be going probably around $60 nowadays, so definitely cheaper. VG10 steel, superior steel definitely. Flat ground, this is going to slice probably better. Lighter weight, probably a full ounce lighter, and slimmer. Just a really nice design on this this Delica, but it's a backlock. It's just a little bit different design, a little bit different feel. I'll give you a little bit of a size comparison to some other stuff. These aren't necessarily competitive options, but take a look at the Kershaw Cryo. You can see kind of a size comparison there, and show you the Kershaw Leak. All right, so there you go. If you have any questions at all about the Benchmade Mini-Presidio, or really anything you see in this video, definitely feel free to leave that down in the comments below. I'd be happy to discuss these knives with you. If you like what you saw in the video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the little like button and share this video with any of your friends that you think may enjoy it. And feel free to subscribe. I definitely have more knife reviews coming. So everyone have a nice day, and thanks for watching.